which is just outside of Seattle. And my very first audition was for a Microsoft commercial. And I got that, which is super cool. And then my next audition was for a movie called Babel. Raise your hand if you've seen the movie Babel. Like 1 person out of 1,000. All right, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that was not the blockbuster you thought it might be.
And
you have a back-end deal on that movie.
When I was on the set of that, the producer introduced me to my manager, who was from LA, and then I got to know her, and then she represented me, and then I've been with her ever since, and she's been amazing at providing me with auditions, and I've been getting pretty consistent work ever since. And then, of course, the big one, obviously, Dolphin Tale, where I was the main protagonist of that for the first time ever. It was pretty great. Thank you, I appreciate that. And that's when the whole Dolphin Tale experience really started to get going.
So let's back up for a second. Just so you know, we were joking about Babel, but who was the lead male in Babel?
I believe Brad Pitt.
A guy named Brad Pitt, so there you go, guys. Brad Pitt.
Just a little known name.
Yeah.
He'll get going eventually.
And you were also in a Batman movie, I believe?
Yeah. Yes, The Dark Knight. I played Commissioner Gordon's son in that.
How cool is that, guys?
So much fun. Marley and Me, have you seen that one?
Marley and Me, great movie, guys.
Yeah, that was fun. And then like a handful of TV shows like Private Practice, I can't speak, NCIS, LA, CSI Cyber, Without a Trace, House, a bunch of other stuff. I'm actually reoccurring on The Goldbergs right now, which is so much fun. Who watches that show?
Goldbergs.
It's pretty hilarious, right? It's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, so you got to Dolphin Tale. That's awesome. How did you arrive on the Dolphin Tale set? What led up to that for you? By the way, tell me your story going to LA. That's such a great story.
Oh, man.
I love this.
Well, I've known ever since I was about 7 years old that I wanted to be an actor. Are there any 7-year-olds here? So I knew when I was your age that being an actor is what I wanted to do, but I didn't exactly know how to go about it. So I went to college for biology, because that's a very clear path to acting.
And your dad agreed, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, my parents were very thrilled. But I knew that that's what I wanted to do, so right after I graduated from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, I packed up my Honda Accord and drove west. And I made one turn, and that was on I-40 in Barstow, California, and then ended up in LA, and as soon as I got there, my muffler fell off in the middle of Beverly Hills.
So you literally, though, just for the kids, you chased the dream, you knew what you wanted to do, and
yeah.
you literally drove, I'm going to LA, I'm going to act.
Yeah, I drove out there, and then I ended up having to kick my steaming hot muffler out of the middle of the road in Beverly Hills. That is a true story. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and my little Honda had just had it. So I started acting in theater in LA, and eventually got an agent who fought to get me the audition for Dolphin Tale, and I thought there was no way I was going to get this because it was rumored that like Hilary Duff had got it or Hayden Panettiere. And I finally got the audition and didn't hear anything for forever, and then got a call that I needed to go meet with these people in like downtown LA, and I was like, for what? And my agent was like, I don't know, and I was like, well, this is great. And so I went, and they kept saying, when you get to Florida, and I was like, well, why am I going to Florida? And then I found out it's because I got to be in Dolphin Tale, so that was pretty exciting.
They made the right choice.
Yeah.
Right,
So you guys
pretty awesome.
How'd they both do? Pretty good, guys? Not a bad job, right?
You guys have not seen me. The kids have not seen me, at least, hopefully, in the other things that I've done.
Yeah, tell them about your specialization. Yeah, she specializes in a very unique character roles.
I've made a living at crying and dying on network television, so I'm normally covered in blood, so you guys don't watch that. That's scary.
Crying and dying.
Yeah.
So you've died quite a few times, I understand.
Yeah, let's see. I didn't die on Grey's Anatomy, but I did a lot of crying, and there was a lot of blood. I died on CSI regular, CSI New York, CSI Miami. CSI Cyber I did, but then got cut, so that made me cry actually in real life. Then I did cry in Private Practice and almost died, but didn't. I died in Criminal Minds. I cried in Rizzoli and Isles. I cried in Murder in the First. Yeah, I cry a lot on TV.
So we have just we have her scheduled to die in Dolphin Tale 7, guys. Just so you know. No, I'm just kidding.
He upped that number.
No,
yesterday it was
not.
3, so as long as we're doing 7.
4 movies.
Yeah, this is great.
This is it's been 24 hours. What do you think I've been doing? So
You were Murder in the First?
I was on Murder in the First.
How
Yeah.
recently was that?
This year.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, we're having a
Sorry,
conversation right now.
Yeah, we're actually friends in real life. We do talk. I swear.
Carry on. So, all right. So, what was the Dolphin Tale? So, you guys arrived in the set. What was the 30,000 feet? What was the Dolphin Tale filming experience like for you guys?
Oh man, really nerve-wracking because the auditioning process was insane for me. I'm from Seattle, like I said, and I do most of my auditions through tape, where I do the audition, my mom tapes me, and my dad runs the lines with me, and after I'm done with that, they send it down to LA to my manager, and then she sends it off to the casting agent. So I did mine in 2010 May, and I didn't hear anything back for like 2 months, so I thought, oh, I probably didn't get it. But then later we get a call saying that the director, Charles Martin Smith, wanted to see me in Vancouver, so we drove up to Vancouver, and I auditioned with him, and then he liked me enough that he flew me down to California to be with the Alcon execs, and then they liked me enough to fly me down to Florida to audition with Winter, because she was the final audition, and if she didn't like me, I couldn't have been Sawyer.
Yeah, Winter did have the last vote. We made a decision
Yes,
that if the pairing didn't work, we couldn't have made the movie, right? But obviously they worked together very, very well. So.
And that still, to this day, is the most terrifying audition I've ever done, because it's I've never seen a dolphin, let alone swam with a dolphin before, so it was very new to me. And I remember I had a meeting with David and Abby, who's Winter's head trainer, and she was going through all the do's and don'ts with Winter, and I'm not kidding, guys. The do's and don'ts were like 10 pages long. And I was freaking out. I'm 12 years old, so I'm just like sweating, and I'm freaking out, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna break Winter somehow. I don't know how, but I'll break her somehow. But no, when I eventually got in the water, I realized that she wasn't that bad to swim with. In fact, she was pretty incredible to be
Pretty
with.
magical.
Yeah,
You guys
awesome.
you did a pretty good job together. So Austin, what was the experience like for you being on the set?
Thank you. One
One
person
person
clapping.
Is that Laura? Is this
No,
you?
guys, come on, the moment's passed.
That's the ultimate golf clap. It's a very formal clap. Oh, yeah, that's right. Austin, so what's it like for you?
I also sort of had to have Winter be the last say about whether or not I actually got the movie. It wasn't to the level that Nathan's was, but they told me, they were like, if she doesn't like you, you'll be fired. And I was like, well, this is not nerve-wracking at all. And I think I was so nervous that somebody asked yesterday if I remembered what my first experience with her was like, and I was like, you know what? I don't remember, because I think I was so nervous that my body was just like, let's just erase that. But eventually it was incredible, because, you know, Winter, she's such a magical animal, and she's just so smart and so kind and so generous that every time we got to hang out with her, it was just like, I wanted somebody to pinch me and tell me that it was real.
We were talking about this earlier. How incredible is it that we got to work on 2 movies, not just one, 2
With
movies,
dolphins.
where we get to hang out with people like Harry Connick and Morgan Freeman and David Yates, who's incredible, and then also Winter, who's like the most famous dolphin ever. And who gets to say that?
It's incredible.
We are so blessed that we got this opportunity, and I don't think he gets thanked enough. But the main reason why Dolphin Tale 1 and 2 happened was because of David Yates. So let's give him a round of applause. Not a golf one, a football one. Yeah, there we go. All right.
It's in his contract to say that, so that was word for word. So no, thanks, guys. So we're gonna break. We're gonna do a Q&A right now for you guys can ask some questions, and we'll talk more about the second movie, how we got the second movie made, and then we're gonna talk about the people aspect of what happens. And we've had some amazing things happen just this week since they came. But the human connection to Winter's story I talked about earlier, we'll tell some stories about that. But I'm gonna let you guys now ask some questions. You guys ready? All right, so raise your hands, guys. I'm gonna walk around and let's see what we got here. All the way off to the side. You've been very patient over here. Here you go.
I want to know how old those two are.
They want to know how old you two are.
I
So,
am less
you
than
too.
50 and older than 16. I'm kidding, I'm 34.
And I am 17, but I'm turning 18 in a couple weeks.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really, really old. I do want to say this. Austin is getting married in May, guys. Is that cool or what?
Yeah, so cool.
The greatest guy ever.
We'll have that live on Periscope too for you. So, all right. So another question right here. Here you go.
How fun was it to make the movie?
How fun was it to make the movies?
Okay, so have you ever been to camp in your life? You know how much fun camp is? Multiply that times like 100 for 3 months long, and then get to do it twice. That's how fun it was. So super fun.
That's a great way. Great. Or imagine that you're going to Disneyland with Santa Claus, and he's just giving you candy the entire time, and then take that experience and then times it by 1 billion.
Yeah.
That was a guide description, by the way.
It was
just
that
so you
fun.
know. All right. Question over here. Did I freeze you? Yeah. Okay. I have a way of doing that. Happens every show. So here you go, right here.
Did you ever swim with Winter? Did you ever meet her in real life?
Are you British?
Love it.
You're Welsh?
That's a Clearwater accent. What are you talking about?
Really? Oh, I'm sorry. He had a really, really cool accent. Yeah, super cool.
So did you get to swim with her? Or
What was this question? I forgot.
Never mind. Moving on.
Yes, we did. We did. We swam with her and met her, and we've gotten to do that for about 6 months during filming.
It was
of
so
both
much
movies.
fun.
Yeah.
We got to swim with the actual Winter and the actual Hope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're distracted easily, by the way. Don't worry about it. So here you go.
How
I think
long
your
did you
accent's cool.
spend making movies?
Say again.
How long did you spend making movies?
Oh, how long? How long did it take?
First one
First
was
one was
about
about
3 months.
Second one was 4.
Like, yeah, the second one was about 4
Yeah.
because we had
Christmas break.
Christmas break
And the Harry break.
and the Harry break.
Yeah.
In the middle of.
We had to take a break from Harry because he's kind of hard to handle.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Going live on Periscope. Right to Harry's phone.
Harry was working a ton. He was doing
Yeah,
American Idol and also touring for his CD. So there was like a month of shooting that we did before he could even make it down here. So that's another reason it took a long time.
Can I add to that? Dolphin Tale, the whole project was almost 4 years. Before filming, it took 2.5 years just to write the screenplay. You gotta have the story, then you all go into pre-production, hire the cast and crew. Filming was that much time, but the whole project was almost 4 long, slow years. But it was worth it, wasn't it?
Movies are not fast.
It was worth it. So, all right, so let's go over this side. Excuse me, guys, I don't want to step on more than one person here.
What was your favorite experience of the movie?
Good question.
Actually, there was one that we were talking about today. When we were filming the second movie for the Hope Rescue, it was really cold, like freezing cold outside. And there was this little hut out in front of CMA that looked like a little snack bar. And in between takes, there was like a really hot light in there. And we would all go like huddle around the light to keep warm and just hung out for like 8 hours, just hanging out with
so
like
much fun.
Morgan and Ashley and Harry and like Cozy
Everybody
and
was in
everybody,
there, yeah.
like the whole cast, Austin, Betsy, Juliana, like everybody was
They
in
were
there.
all there.
And we had that was one of my favorite experiences of the whole movie, was just sharing war stories with them.
Yeah, that's up there for me. That's gotta be like top 3. My all-time favorite memory, not only during the Dolphin Tale movies, but I think during my acting career, is when I had the one-on-one scene with Morgan Freeman. I mean, to say that I got to work with a legend like Morgan Freeman is such an honor, and I'm so blessed to say that. And I remember when we were filming that scene, my wardrobe lady took a picture of me and him talking in between takes, and she framed it and she gave it to me, and I had that picture next to my bed, and it's kind of that friendly reminder that I'm so blessed to say that I got to work with the great Morgan Freeman.
Austin, why don't you tell me your Morgan Freeman introduction story? You met Morgan Freeman. It's a great story. So
So have you guys ever seen a cartoon where people get nervous and their knees go like this, and you're like, well, that can't be real. Meet Morgan Freeman. It really happens. Your knees knock together, and you're like, stop it, you're giving it away. But I was really that nervous and excited to meet him, but he couldn't be cooler. And he actually recorded the outgoing voicemail message on my phone.
And your dad called
My
you?
dad, my dad texts me. He's like, "Don't answer." I'm like, "Thanks for calling me, Dad." You know, he's showing off my voicemail to his friends.
Okay, love that. Next question. Here you go.
What was the movie based on real life?
Yeah, was it based on real life? It was. Actually, it was. Here's what happens when you do a movie based on real life. Not every single thing is fact, but most of it is. So what you do is you take the basic real story, and you build some things around it to make it a major motion picture. But all the basic elements were, matter of fact, in Dolphin Tale 2, in the second movie, there was more individual real-life elements than even was in the first movie. We'll talk about that later on, but good question. So let's talk now about Dolphin Tale 2 for a second, guys. So what was it like coming back for a second movie, guys? Was it just like deja vu for you guys? It was 3 years later, of course.
Well, the first one, towards the end of the shoot, Dolphin Tale 1, we were all so close. Not just with our fellow castmates, but also the crew, David, the trainers, the Dolphins, and we were kind of like a family towards the end. And when I heard that we were doing a second one, it was kind of thinking of like, oh, it's like a family reunion, because we were all so close during the first one.
Yeah, we kept texting each other. We're like, is this real life? Like, are we gonna really get to work together again and swim with dolphins again? Is this for real? It was incredible. It was so much fun.
Here's what's neat is, I think one reason I heard back from you guys and a lot of the actors as to why they came back, and by the way, we got all the actors back all the cast came back. Guys, that's hard to do. Unless you're a planned sequel, like a Harry Potter sequel, getting all the cast to work into their schedules to come back at the same time again, that's hard to do. Morgan does like, what, 90 movies a year right now. So these guys are busy.
By federal law.
Harry, yeah, exactly. Harry was doing on tour and filming American Idol and doing Dolphin Tale 2 at the same time. But I know one reason a lot of you guys wanted to come back was you guys saw the impact on the people. Guys, when Dolphin Tale came out, when the first movie came out, we had 10,000 emails, approximately, just the first weekend, in the first 3 days. And since then, hundreds of thousands of emails, calls, letters, visits. And those are typically a parent telling us what Winter's Overcoming Story. Remember I talked about this before when I started? About how Winter's Overcoming Story helped their child through and fill in the blank. Going through chemotherapy, autistic, having a prosthetic leg, surgery, burn victim, you know, and just fill in the blank. And just this mushroom of inspiration went around the world, and they started contacting us. And we've had literally, just today we met some people.
Today we've had four different lives that
we
have
can
been
walk
touched by winter.
Yeah, we can walk around any day at the aquarium, guys, and find 40 or 50 families that are here specifically because Winter's Overcoming Story inspired them through a very difficult time in their life. And not just in a cheesy way, in a life-changing way. So that's the best part of it for me.
And David, I'm not kidding, guys. I am still seeing to this day, not just when I'm here, but also back home, people are still being inspired by winter. I don't think I've told you the story yet. For Christmas, I went to my grandma's retirement home, and they were throwing this really cool Christmas party where they were going to have like Seahawk members come up and talk to all the old people there, and it was really, really cool. But also, there was this lady there who brought in a pony. A mini pony that was decked up to be like
that picture with your dad.
Yeah, decked up to be like a Seahawk, right? And it's like the official 12th pony of the Seahawks, right? And it's so cool. So I was talking to this lady. I'm like, so what is this? It's clearly a gimmick. She's like, no, I actually go to retirement homes and I also go to hospitals and I bring this pony around and kids ride it and old people love to hear the story about this horse because when the horse was young, it was heavily abused by the owner. And actually had to rehab the horse, and this lady who absolutely loves horses and ponies took the pony under her wing and just sort of rehabbed her for a year, and then she finally got comfortable with her after a year, and then eventually she starts taking the pony out to other people, and it's like therapeutic, kind of like winter. And I talked to her, I'm like, so what made you do this? And she said, winter. She saw Dolphin Tale and she loved it so much, and when she saw me, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're from Dolphin Tale!" And then I gave her my number and stuff, and she contacts me and she's like, "I'm going to a retirement home in Seattle," and she loves doing it. And the pony is so cool, and that's still happening today. The movie came out a year ago, and it's still going right now.
Powerful. The message of hope, guys, no pun intended, is a powerful, powerful message, and that's what Winter's message is, and Hope's message is. And on Sunday we got to go to a local hospital. You guys got to be part of that, I guess, right?
Yeah. It was actually like a very full life circle moment for me because when I was a little kid, I spent Christmas in the hospital because I was very sick and was on the verge of death. And so being able to go back and visit little kids in the hospital that are there over Christmas now as an adult was like, it was an absolutely surreal moment. But these kids, I know firsthand, you spend Christmas in the hospital and it's a very bleak experience. And so to be able to go there and give them gifts and just to have like a moment where they can not think about their circumstances is truly an honor to be a part of.
That's what it's all about, and that's I think one reason everybody came back, and the main reason we did the second movie was just the impact we saw on lives. I know the guys at Alcon felt the same way. So guys, here's the deal: if we made a third movie, would you watch it? Yeah! We're not doing a third movie, but anyway. No, I'm kidding, guys. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Who knows?
We've always planned on going to TV. How would you like to see some Dolphin Tale, CMA, winter stuff on TV? Would that be cool? Yeah! So the first step in the process is we're launching, put this in your calendar, guys, and on February 1, we'll be launching a brand new online TV series, all real life, behind the scenes of how we do our work at Clearwater Marine Aquariums. All the things you saw in the movies, you're going to see the real life aspect of this. Starting on February 1, and the first day of every month, we're going to release a new episode every single month. And the first one's going to be the whole history of the aquarium, how we came about, how we do our work, the Dolphin Tale movies. So it's going to be the real life aspect of what we do. And then we're working on ideas on other TV projects. So we have a lot of TV coming the next few years, so we're not done. And we could do a third movie, maybe later on, but right now, you're going to see a lot of TV. Is that going to be cool? You guys going to watch it? So we're going to take a break right now. We'll let you guys watch. We're going to launch. This is the first promotional trailer.